Hey everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to show you how to do a 2-page layout using stamps from the National Stamping Day special called Change of Scenery, along with Hey Handsome papers and stickers. Okay, so these are the Hey Handsome papers, and this is the stamp set from Change of Scenery. So the stamp set is part of the kit that you can purchase for the National Stamping Day workshop. And so this layout is an idea of what to do with these stamps in addition to that workshop. And then this next stamp set is a sneak peek at the National Stamping Month special called Dreammaker that's going to be available starting May 1st. So really any stamp set that you have that has splotches and splatters and decorative art images will work. Okay, so these are my pictures. They're of a day hike up at a state park that's close to where we live. And just going to do a picture of me and some scenery pictures. And I'm going to start out with my base in mink. I'm going to do some stenciling. So I'm going to do some tone-on-tone stenciling. And this image, it's a wood grain image from the Stencil Pack 1. It looks like wood grain, tree bark, and it's really kind of hard to see on camera, but I just wanted a subtle effect on the background of this mink paper. So I'm just lightly going over it with mink ink and a blending brush. And I have treated the stencil with some pixie spray first, so it has some low tack to it, so it won't move. And I'm just flipping it around, and I'm using some masking tape so I don't stencil over the image where I don't want to stencil, and so get ink where I don't want it to be. So I've done both sides. I've done the right side of the left panel and the left side of the right panel. Okay, so now I'm going to start cutting my strips. All right, so you can work with strips of 2 inches and 3 inches and just use various patterns and various strip sizes. And then I've grabbed this piercing ruler. It's an old retired Close to My Heart product, but it's 15 inches long. So I wanted something that's longer than 12 inches to be able to use as a straight edge to cut my 12-inch strips at a diagonal. So hopefully you can find a straight edge or a longer ruler to cut everything at a diagonal. So just go from corner to corner, and I'm just using a blade on my Versamat because it's a self-healing mat, so I can cut using a X-Acto blade on that mat. And I'm cutting all of my patterned papers again at either 2 inches or 3 inches, and then cutting them at a diagonal. So be mindful of your papers that have a direction to them, so that like this particular pattern, you can read the images, so you need to make sure they're right side up when you place them on your layout. So I've got some cut at a diagonal in one direction and others cut at a diagonal in the other direction. Okay, so I have a whole variety to work with, and I've laid them out on both sides of my layout. Okay, so you just kind of tuck pieces underneath each other and set them at an angle and have different patterns showing some a little bit more than others. And make sure that you're working with an adhesive that you can lift and reposition. You don't want repositionable adhesive, but this particular brand that I like, you can pick it up and move it around if you've put something down and you change your mind. So it's a little tricky to get all of these layered up in the right way, but just work with it, and whatever is poking out over the top and bottom and sides, you can always flip over your layout and trim off the excess. So I'm just kind of working with all of these, and I'm not putting a ton of adhesive down at first because I want to be able to have that freedom to reposition and pick things up and move things around if I have to, like right there. And then after I'm happy with the way it looks, I'm going to go back and lift up the edges and just put some wet glue underneath the edges so they're secure. So I'll do that off camera. So just kind of lifting and tucking and moving things around and seeing what pattern is shown, and there's a lot of freedom to how you have things layered up. Okay, so now I've got everything secured and we can start adding our photos. So I have a photo mat in pine, and then I'm going to layer black on top of that, and then my photo that is 4x6. So each mat is a 1/4 inch larger. And then I've got this other photo that shows the sign of where we were hiking. We hiked up Carpenter Peak in the state park that's not too far from us. It's beautiful. It's amazing that short drive you can see these awesome rock formations. And I am popping both of these using foam tape. Okay. So since I'm going to layer my smaller picture over the larger one, I've strategically placed the foam tape so there isn't any under that corner. Okay, and then I'm going to mat all of my other pictures in a block on the right side. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this sentiment. It's from Change of Scenery, and it says, "Some views are worth every step." And I'm going to stamp that on my photo mat in black ink in that lower corner. Okay. We'll get that out of the way, and then I'm going to do some stamping on my left side of the layout. Okay, so my title is also going to come from the stamp set, and it says Change of Scenery. But first, I'm going to stamp this mountain stamp in rosemary ink, and it's just going to be a faint shadow underneath my title. Okay, so I'm using rosemary. We'll just stamp that out, and then over it I will stamp my title in black ink. Making sure about the positioning of the stamp. And then we'll get that stamped down. So I've waited to put my photos down because I'm going to do some more treatments and stamping on my layout first. Make sure I like the positioning. Okay, so I have cut a bunch of stickers from the carrier sheets so that I can figure out where to put them. And then I'm going to bring in my circle dies and some mix-in papers. So, this is the April, May, June mix-ins, and this one piece, it's kind of a houndstooth, I think. No, it's more chevron. I don't know what the fabric is, but it's in charcoal. And I've cut a circle. Actually, I've cut two because I'm going to use one on each side. And now I'm just kind of playing with the stickers from Hey Handsome and just deciding what stickers I want to put down. I wanted to use that tag, but it was covering up the whole circle, so I changed my mind. And there's some, these pieces, they kind of look like washi tape or torn paper strips. And just kind of playing around with them. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp this splotch. It's like a paint splotch or splatter from the Dreammaker set. And I'm going to stamp that in rosemary ink. And then over this, I'm going to stamp this tree image from Change of Scenery in pine ink. But first, I'm going to add some more splatters. This is also from the Dreammaker set. Scatter some splatters around in rosemary ink. And then I'm going to bring that tree stamp in, and I'm going to stamp in pine ink over that large splatter. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my trimmer again real quick with some white daisy cardstock, and I'm going to trim a 1/4 inch strip and then divide that into 3 strips of 4 inches each to do some strip journaling below my photo. So I'll add that off camera later on. I like to do strip journaling because if you make a mistake, you can fix it before it's attached to your layout. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in the rosemary shimmer brush, and I'm going to do some more splatters and add some sparkle and shine. Okay, so make sure when you're using a shimmer brush, shake it up really well. And I like to squeeze it out on a block instead of over my project, just because sometimes, especially at high altitude, the pressure of the shimmer brush, it can sometimes cause the substance to come out very quickly. So you don't want to ruin your project. So make sure you squeeze it out over scratch paper or a block. And then I'm just splattering some all around. Strategic splattering, right? Okay, so now I'm ready to add my photos, and I've already added some foam tape to the back. Put our photo down, and then we'll add that smaller photo. Then we're ready to add a little cluster of stickers and other ephemera. So just sliding that mix in circle under, and then we'll add a couple stickers. And that camera sticker. And then I thought I was going to use that other washi strip, changed my mind, and I'm going to add this black arrow. Okay. All right. So that's almost finished. We'll set that aside and start working on the right side. Okay. So I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of my large photo mat. And I'm going to do some stamping and some other treatment before I actually attach it to my layout. So that other circle in the mix-in papers is going to go down below my photo mat. And I want to add another one of these washi strips. And I tried again to use that tag, and it's just not going to work. So I'm going to use that on a different layout. So I'm going to use this tree sticker and another of these washi strips. Okay, so we'll take everything off of our layout, and I'm going to do a little stamping. So I have this other splotchy sticker image, not a sticker, but stamp image from Dreammaker. Stamp that down in rosemary, and then kind of look at the positioning of my photo mat. And I'm going to bring in this other splatter stamp and just do some random stamping, also in rosemary. And then I'm going to do some splattering with that rosemary shimmer brush all around. So I'm just using some scratch paper to cover up my pattern paper so I don't get splatters on it. Okay. All right, now we're ready to go ahead and put down the photo mat. And then we can add our stickers and circle of mix-in paper. just for some interest down in that lower corner to keep the eye moving. So we'll add the washi sticker and the tree, and then another arrow and a star. Okay, and then for the last touch, I'm going to scatter a bunch of these stars, also from Change of Scenery. There's the larger star and then a tiny star. I'm just stamping those in black ink randomly around. And we'll call this done. So I will make a list of all the supplies with links in the description below. The Change of Scenery collection and kit is available until the end of May, and the Dreammaker collection becomes available starting May 1st. And I'll put more information in the description below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it, and then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And thanks for watching.